Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another DM's Guild review. I'm going to be talking about 5 more free adventures to take to your table. You might notice my background's a little bit different. The green screen thing isn't working, but who cares? It barely worked anyway. So let's move right on into number 1. Our first adventure of the day is going to be The Small Cultist Dungeon by London, a level 3 adventure. We begin in the rugged landscape of the Sword Coast, with a solitary barn squatted in an isolated field. Its loneliness whispers of a forgotten tale. Beneath a blanket of hay, in this mundane building, a hatch lay concealed. A dark secret, an ominous abyss. Whoever stumbles upon this portal will soon find themselves in a dark, nefarious room, far removed from the tranquility of the sunlight of the world above. A creaking, rickety ladder, they descend into the heart of the earth, a small room dimly lit by a lone torch flickering with an eerie dance. The cold stone floor and the ominous spiderwebs cornered in the shadows painted a chilling welcome. A heavy grave stood as the guardian of the unseen beyond, surrendering only to the might of the strong. Their stealth was tested, for the slightest disturbance would awaken 2 unholy sentinels lurking in the next room. If the party failed, the cultists were ready to spring forth, their twisted faith fueling their ferocity. Beyond the grated barrier, a room veiled in shadow harbored a morose ambience. The faint flickering torches barely reveal a carpet of faded green and bookshelves with tomes of forbidden knowledge. Among these cloistered writings lay some insidious secrets of summoning and arcane symbols. The very air was saturated with the musty scent of eldritch power. 2 more cultists, absorbed in their clandestine studies, defended this unhallowed sanctum. Time was their enemy here. Prolonged battles invited dire consequences. A call from the summoning room would unleash the otherworldly terror of abyssal chickens, as the cultists used the essence of the underworld to their advantage. Further into the dungeon, a 3rd room held the source of the abyssal force. An intricate summoning circle etched into the hard brick floor dominated the chamber. An unfortunate cultist, his hubris unmatched by his lack of knowledge, often succumbed to their own spells, consumed by eldritch fire, or snatched away by unseen tentacles. A macrame spectacle of his doomed fate lay before the party. Past this chaos, a starkly mundane scent awaited them. The cult's shared living spaces, the bedroom of doom, houses 6 neat beds and personal trunks. Scraps of more profound mystery lay scattered. Handwritten documents revealing a miraculous boom in crop yield, indicating some darker influences at work for the mundane. Onward the kitchen, a juxtaposition of normalcy in this realm of darkness, hummed with the mundane chatter of 2 cultists. Around the massive table, they found letters, an unsealed will, and a few gold coins. These artifacts told tales of the cultists' lives, intertwined with ordinary desires and regrets. Their ominous shadow darkening an otherwise ordinary narrative. Yet the most significant test lay ahead. Within the caverns of the Minotaur Room. Here, amidst large casks of wine and weeks' worth of rations, a mountain of gold gleamed ominously. Beneath this deceptive wealth, a minotaur, born from a failed ritual, lurked ready to charge at the slightest movement. A dire battle awaited those who dared touch the tempting treasure, wine, or the door that stood like a gatekeeper into the next chamber. The final room, treasure aplenty, was a vault of earthly desires. Numerous pieces of gold, silver, and sparkling crystals were scattered around, a treasure trove with tainted origins. An immovable rod and bracers of archery nestled among these spoils of wealth. The adventure ended, leaving them not just with spoils and newfound wisdom, but with a duty. They were tasked with delivering a will to a maiden in Vandalen, an echo of humanity amid the echoes of dark rituals and monstrous transformations. This maiden's tale, touched by the cultist's greed and ambition, was a potent reminder of the human face behind the horrors they had faced. As they emerged, they carried the tainted gold and the echoes of a dark mystery that had played out beneath an ordinary barn in the hills. Well, that was a pretty interesting adventure, everybody. I, in particular, like these kind of adventures where it's a one-page adventure. They just give you the nitty-gritty information that you absolutely need to set up a story, and then I get to put a story on top of it. It's really fun for me to do, and if you guys want to try something like that, you've got to check it down in the description. But we're going to be moving right into our next adventure, and it's another short one. It's The Blame Game by author C.D. White. It's a beginner-level adventure. In the vibrant city, with the humdrum of daily life, nestled in a labyrinth of cobbled streets, sat the greedy griffin, a culinary haven adorned by gourmets and commoners alike. But on a day quite like any other, an unexpected event rattled the calm. A flurry of rats, an ocean of scrabbling claws and twitching whiskers, erupted from the establishment and surged onto the streets in a frenzy. As the horrified patrons shrieked and fled, the hapless owner, all ashen-faced and wise-eyed, stammered desperate protests of innocence amid the chaos. Just as the piercing screams began to fade into the distance, a group of unlikely heroes, adventurers of repute, happened upon the scene. As the city guards approached, steel glinting in the midday sun, the proprietor, wringing his hands, implored them for aid, urging them to delve into the mystery before the law branded him guilty. Intrigued, the adventurers accepted, stepping into the whirlwind of accusations and uncertainty. The interior of the greedy griffin was immaculate, startling, devoid of filth and rat droppings. The group combed every crevice, every corner, and every crack. Their methodical investigation led them down into the bowels of the establishment, the kitchen. Spotless countertops and gleaming cookware greeted them, raising more questions than answers. How is it this good? However, further scrutiny revealed faint paw prints and muddy trails of tiny footprints, weaving in from the kitchen to the main room. One of the party, with a keen eye for tracking, declared the rats hadn't lingered long, a conclusion drawn from the peculiar absence of droppings despite the clear tracks. And oddly, the rats had muddy feet. Mud from where? As the search continued, the adventurers encountered a peculiar, earthy scent wafting from behind the larder. A strong warrior among them heaved the bulky larder aside, exposing a tiny hole in the wall that a loose tile had hidden. Upon closer examination, the wall admitted a hollow echo, indicating a concealed cavity reaching a height of 5 feet before giving way to solid stone. Emerging from the eatery's shadowy confines, the adventurers were greeted by the sight of the city guards, whose presence was imposing as they prepared to escort the anxious owner away. A hush descended as the party shared their findings. Despite the proven cleanliness, the authorities remained unconvinced of the owner's innocence. The discovery of the rat tracks raised eyebrows and suspicion, leading to the owner's temporary apprehension. However, the hollow wall and covert tunnel was the real revelation. Curiosity piqued. The guards shattered the deceptive facade to reveal the truth. A 5 feet wide and high tunnel extending a remarkable 60 feet. It wasn't a natural burrow, but a tunnel carved by someone or something of shorter stature. The flickering torchlight served as their guide as the adventurers entered this dim cavern. The tunnels ended, spat them out into another establishment storage room, the drunken dwarf. Amid the barrels and sacks, the eyes fell upon several cages, still carrying the lingering scent of rat inhabitants. The plot thickens as Siggy Blackcoat, the gruff dwarf owner, feigned ignorance, yet one discerning adventurer, skilled in reading people, sensed the deceptive notes in Siggy's denial. Discerning that the dwarf was either lying or hiding something, suspicions were vindicated when the guards arrested Siggy Blackcoat, unmasking him as the malefactor behind this wave of rats infesting the town. The deceptive tunnel leading from his eatery to the greedy griffin has been his weapon of choice, and his scheme finally collapsed under the determined scrutiny of the adventurers. In the days that follow, Siggy's eatery was closed, and the wrongfully accused owner of the greedy griffin was vindicated. The city guards hailed the adventurers as heroes, their pockets heavier by 100 gold pieces, and the greedy griffin, its reputation restored. The owner ever grateful to his saviors, treating them to a delectable meal on the house. I always love a really good mystery, something that doesn't have to involve combat, but I'm sure you could find a way to do it. And if you guys like mysteries like that one, you know where to find them. But let's move right into the very next adventure. That's Sweet Bloody Mary by Peter Dufine, a level 3 to 4 adventure. In the heart of the rolling sea lies an island, and the grave of an infamous pirate's ill-fated bride. Underneath the sapphire canopy of the sky, a motley crew of stalwart adventurers sets sail, venturing toward an island shrouded in mystery and the scent of danger. The whimsies of the sea lead them to rocky outcrops jutting out like jagged teeth, where waves crash violently. Challenging their resolve, the group navigates these treacherous waters, the promise of the unknown fueling their determination. A gruesome line of bones dividing the island reveals itself as a desolate sanctuary, a chilling reminder of the island's sinister past. The remnants of those who dare defy the unwritten laws of this land stand as silent sentinels, warning of the danger that lie ahead. On this island, 2 hills rise like humps of the sea beast, blanketed in the dense fog that looms ominously over the land. Yet the most striking features the perfect square money pit, a symbol to the pirate's twisted affection for his wife, Mary. The harpy's terrifying melodies greeted the adventurers as they traveled deeper into the island. Their bewitching songs permeate the air, attempting to lure the party into the perilous embrace of the sea. Those entranced are challenged to break free from the spell, lest they succumb to the depths below. Having survived the enchantment, the adventurers arrive at the Money Pit, a monument to the pirates' paranoia and jealousy. Ghostly pirates, ghosts of the past, who are singing a somber rendition of Sweet Mary, confront them as they step into the cornerstone surrounding the pit. The spectral pirates only allow passage to those who can mirror the jig, dancing to the rhythm of their sorrowful song. The first layer of the money pit reveals a floor of vibrant blue moss, hiding a cryptic carving. It's a perilous puzzle that demands 4 fingers at the top and 7 at the bottom to reveal the pathway to the next level. Missteps are punished with sharp jolts of lightning, a stark reminder of the stakes they face. The second level presents a mural of caricatures, a curious riddle that, when deciphered, allows access to the next level. Attempts to bypass the riddle are met with dangerous traps, further exemplifying the crafty nature of Mary's pirate husband. As the adventurers delve deeper, they reach a door marked with musical notes, the final threshold to Mary's resting place. Upon correctly uttering the phrase the pirates were singing earlier, "Oh hi dee ho, sweet Mary," they are granted access to the hallowed chambers. Inside the tomb, Mary, an abomination animated by unnatural forces, demands proof of their love. In the face of this eerie demand, the adventurers make their sacrifices, an act of devotion that either appeases Mary's spectral form or enrages her, depending on the offering's sincerity. Those who successfully prove their love discover a hidden treasure chamber containing a trove of riches, from precious jewelry to a peculiar scimitar that occasionally screams, "Yarr!" Those who fail to satisfy Mary face a desperate fight against the undead bride and the spectral pirates. The adventure reaches its climax as the group, whether victorious or fleeing, encounters harpies eager for a weekend meal. A perilous retreat to the rowboat ensues, followed by a harrowing escape from the island under the onslaught of the territorial harpies. Finally, as the adventurers sail away from the cursed island, they reflect on their sacrifices and victories. Their hearts are heavy with memories, and their pockets are laden with treasures. They disappear into the horizon. Unbeknownst to them, however, the legacy of the pirates' coins will trail with them in future journeys, adding a chapter to the adventure they just begin to write. And I am all about that kind of adventure, guys. I love it when stories are taking place on the sea, in islands, or even underwater. That's such an underused setting, and I love it. And we're going to be moving into yet another unused setting that I like as well. That's a Desert-y setting. And it's going to be The Lost Scroll by Ahmed Al-Jabri, a level 6 to 7th adventure. And I tried my best to pronounce that, I really did. In the heart of the golden desert, beneath the scorching sun and shifting sands, there lay a crypt as old as time itself. Its chambers echoed with whispers, secrets, and with them a group of adventurers had stumbled upon a mysteriously adorned scroll case. An ancient relic inscribed with words that read, "Herein lies the truth of blood," written in an old dialect of Mandani. Unaware of its significance, the party pocketed the item, their curiosity piqued by the mysterious artifact. The searing sun hung high in the azure sky as the adventurers emerged from the crypt's entrance. Only the soft hissing of the desert wind broke the eerie silence that engulfed the rocky, arid landscape. No sooner had they adjusted to the light they saw a figure drawing near, a hunched old man with a visage as weathered as the desert itself. Subahib al-Basa was his name, a desert merchant by appearance, but an assassin by trade. A member of the Holy Slayer organization, the Storm That Destroys. For years, he had been on the trail of a missing scroll. A royal proclamation from Sultan Yusuf bin Ahmad al-Wadi, acknowledging his illegitimate children's claim to the throne. This document could shake the kingdom of Ghana to its core. In a voice cracked with age, Subahab spun a story. The scroll case contained a letter from his deceased father, a last token of the man he had loved and respected. He pleaded with the adventurers, his desperate eyes gleaming with a strange intensity, but something about his demeanor seemed off. A clue to the more observant party members, a sense that things were not as they seemed. Unbeknownst to the adventurers, the scroll case was magically sealed, resistant to prying eyes and curious minds. If handed over willingly, Subahab would find himself frustrated by its magic lock. To break it, one would need more than mere brute force. It required the casting of a specific spell, a successful arcana check, or even a ritual performed at dawn. If the adventurers refused, Subahab was prepared to play a different hand. He would withdraw, seemingly accepting defeat, only to stalk them from the shadows, biding his time until the opportunity presented itself to strike. The master of deception, he hid his true identity and intentions under the guise of a frail merchant, waiting patiently for the right moment. The tale culminates in a dramatic confrontation. Subahab, driven by desperation, would summon an air elemental, a powerful entity from another plane to aid him in battle. Sly and cunning, he would use the elemental to launch surprise attacks, all the while staying out of harm's way. If the odds turned against him, Subahad has an escape plan. With the help of this elemental, he would make his retreat, evading the adventurers and leaving them with a puzzle to solve and a dangerous enemy at large. Regardless of the outcome, the encounter with Subahad was bound to leave a lasting impact on the adventurers, and as the sun sets over the desert, painting the sky in hues of orange and crimson, the adventurers would find themselves in possession of a scroll case that held within it a secret with the potential to reshape a kingdom. The adventure, though seemingly concluded, was only just beginning. That's something that's really interesting, everybody. If you ever wanted to have a quick little side quest turn into the rest of the campaign, that's how you do it, everybody. Especially when you get into higher levels, you want your characters to be able to affect the greater world and how it's living. So I really like that. I really, really like that. And last but not least, everybody, we're getting into our last adventure. Another culinary adventure, I might add. A Case of MisTastin Identity by Jeff Smoggy. Another beginner level adventure, but it can really be for any level. In the heart of the city, 5 famed adventurers gather into Sigahar's kitchen. Amid the anticipation, the flamboyant host, Nowell Flitting, unveiled the return of a legendary event after half a century. The Great Culinary Fight. His words echoed, arousing euphoria among the spectators. Among the 5 talented bakers, there was Dunala, the gastromancer, Wadanir, the fiery bread baker, and the adventurers, standing in for the late Snigglehad Crit himself. Each chef received their crowd's adulation, except for the adventurers, who were met with mere polite applause. The tension in the air was palpable as Nowell revealed the secret ingredient of the epic battle. Giant crabs. The amphitheater went wild as 5 monstrous crabs materialized, snapping their enormous pincers. The chefs sprung into action, launching their assault on the delectable beasts. In the midst of the frenzy, Dunala, desperate for victory, attempted to disrupt the adventurers, slyly instigating their crab and casting deceptive spells. She almost succeeded, but the sharp eyes of the party members spotted her inference. Unfazed, Dunala brushed off the accusations as merely the spirit of competition. During the tumultuous battle, Guidenier already prepared his dish, assisted the party by sharing the crab's vulnerabilities. Should the situation worsen, Xandru Maroon stood ready to intervene, lending a hand with his expert knife skills. The adventurers, fighting with valor, eventually overcame the menacing crabs, harvesting the unique ingredient for the culinary challenge. The stage shifted to the kitchens, where the chefs were tasked with creating a dish featuring the formidable crab. The adventurers faced a new challenge, the kitchen, stocked specifically for the chef Segal. The adventurers needed more of the ingredient they desired. An unexpected hurdle became an opportunity for interaction as they visited other chef stations, borrowing and bartering for different ingredients. The spirit of competition was intense, yet amicable. Through a series of trials, they crafted their dish, bringing their unique culinary vision to life. As the chefs prepared their dish, the hosts descended on their stations, scrutinizing their work and dropping playful hints about surprises they might have in store. The crowd watched with bated breath as the culinary masterpieces came to life. The final push came with the host's announcement that the time was running out, adding a last-minute dash of excitement to the culinary showdown. At the grand presentation, each chef revealed their dish, as unique and colorful as their creators. Guidenier's kicking crab cakes brought a tantalizing freshness. Ray Lachelle's Krabby Carbonara was a tribute to love, with its magical invisibility potion adding a touch of enchantment. Xandru's Maroon's Crab Bazaar played with textures and surprises, while Dunala's butter-bathed boiled crabs celebrated the richness of the secret ingredient. With this gastronomical spectacle concluded, the chefs retreated backstage as the judges deliberated. This brief respite allowed the adventurers to investigate Dunala's actions further. However, upon their accusations of attempted murder, Dunala fled in panic, bringing a sudden end to the deliberations. In desperation, Dunala unleashed her magic on the discarded crab carcasses, reanimating them as monstrous zombies. A new, unexpected battle erupted in the amphitheater with the chefs of adventurers battling against the undead crabs and the raging Denali. The fight was intense and chaotic. Xandru Maroon turned his culinary skills into combat prowess, aiding the party against Denala. Amid the frenzy, the adventurers managed to subdue her and the animated crabs. The arena, once a site of culinary delight, became a battleground of shattered cookware and crushed crab. In the aftermath of the showdown, the contestants' fates were decided. Depending on their actions throughout the competition and the battle against Denala, they faced a range of possible outcomes. Some were celebrated as heroes and awarded grand prize money, while others faced the prospect of banishment for the havoc wreaked during the event. And so concluded the unforgettable event, a day that started as a cooking competition and ended in a magical battle against a desperate chef and her crab zombies. The adventurers had indeed proven that, in the world of culinary arts, the kitchen was a battleground where only the most daring emerged victorious. So that was a couple of fun adventures for your table, everybody. If you like those adventures or you've played them personally, please leave it down in the comments. I would love to hear from you. But until next time, everybody, I will see you all later. Don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe, and maybe I'll have that green screen fixed next episode.